Good evening, Tony Dottino doing my Wednesday evening live with Tony. Tonight's topic, sleep. As I shared with you on Monday, I'm reading this interesting article for your health, for your health. Comes out of Sunday's newspaper. It was an insert in my Sunday newspaper. I found it really fascinating, very, very interesting in the topics that they covered. And one of them was the elements of brain health and how brain and physical health go hand in hand. And one of the articles that I zeroed in on Monday was the importance of exercising and its impact on us. Well, tonight I want to talk about sleeping and the importance of sleeping to us. And I think we all understand we need a good night's sleep. I know we are all cranky when we don't get sleep. So it's telling us something about the hard wiring in the human brain, the human body. When we don't get enough of sleep, we kind of know it, and we kind of probably let a lot of other people know it. So the question starts to become then, if we know we need to do this, then how do we make sure we get a good night's sleep? So one of the things that we talk about often is having routines, and there's nothing worse. If any of you have ever flown to the Far East or have flown overseas to Europe, and you get this 5 hour time difference, or you go to the Far East in Japan and Hawaii, etc., you get this 12 hour, your body just flips upside down. You know how hard it is to get back to sleep when you stay in that zone. Well, think about that in the same way if you're breaking up your sleep hours, in that you're not sleeping in some regular time period, 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. If you're not in some regular routine, what you're doing is creating jet lag to your body on a regular basis. And we're seeing more and more about the importance of short naps in the afternoon. So if you are up bright and early in the morning and you are active and engaged, then the notion of having a short nap up to 45 minutes is not a bad idea, as long as you have it, so it says here, by 3 o'clock. So short naps will provide a sufficient amount of time to feel refreshed, but not interfere with nighttime sleep. But you want to do it before 3 o'clock, and you don't want to do it for more than 45 minutes. So here are some of the simple things that we're getting. Alcohol. People sometimes say, well, I'm going to drink and that's going to make me tired. Yeah, it does, however, but the effect of it is only good for a few hours. So now the effect of alcohol wears off after a few hours, and now you're awake, and you're more awake than before you took the alcohol. A third one that's so simple, and yet we pay attention. You're tossing and turning in bed. And you started to go nap off and get your head down on the pillow, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're tossing and turning, and you want to get back to sleep, and you grab the pillow and you grab, your blanket, and you put it over your head, and maybe you're listening to music. And you're tossing and turning, but after 20 minutes in bed, tossing and turning, you ought to get up. I tell this people, I do this. It works a heck of a lot better than tossing and turning for an hour or so and then looking at the clock and then realizing, my goodness, I've been doing this for over an hour. This is terrible, right? Well, yeah, it is, except you don't need to make it worse. Get yourself up and out of bed. And I always tell people, take a piece of paper, get something close by, and start writing down everything going through your mind. Do a brain dump onto a piece of paper and just keep writing until you're done writing. And sometimes it takes me up to an hour. And you're like, isn't that kind of crazy, right? You're up at 3 or 2 in the morning, you're writing for an hour. The answer is yes, but then my brain then says, okay, you're done. You've exhausted everything I've got to remind you to think about in the morning. And then it lets me go back and lay down and not toss and turn at all, but hit the pillow and go right back to sleep. Now, one of the most important things hold on, let me shut that off. One of the most important things about sleep. I don't know how people are getting with this spam stuff, but by golly, it used to be one, maybe a call a day, and now it's getting to be like 5 or 6 a day. And I just don't know how you stop them. It's almost like not having a house phone. But one of the most important things, back to sleep, one of the most important things I've learned about sleep is the importance of getting a good night's rest. And if you're in a problem-solving mode, put that problem into your brain in some way. I use mind maps very often. Put notes in front of yourself, do a highlight storyboard in front of yourself, somewhere in the 6 to 8 p.m. hour. So somewhere between 6 to 8 p.m., put that picture in front of you, the storyboard, the words, the document, whatever, bullet notes, and then just forget about it for the rest of the night. I promise you, by the time you get up the next day, your brain is going to be flipping with answers, suggestions, ideas, creativity. It's amazing when we can get a good night's sleep and we have some things in our mind that are bothering us, that are keeping us awake, that are just working on, if we can just let them out, put them on paper, see them, say, I got them, I know they're there. So now you're safe. You know that they're there in front of you. Once you know where to go put that piece of paper up, and off your brain is free now to begin to start to do its natural form of innovation and creativity. And so now you're on your way. But you've done it in the most constructive possible way and you've tackled this issue of sleeping, but you've now given yourself a feasibility and a way of addressing these challenges and issues you've got in your life and knocking them out, as if just put them in front of me and knock that one out. Put that in front of me, knock that one out. Put it in front of me. And I find these things to be amazing. So I find myself trying to do that by 6:30 at night. If there's something I'm working on, by 6:30, I want to have it in front of me, and then I want to forget it. And it's amazing how, for me, at 6 a.m. the next morning, bam, here comes the solutions. And I got to do this, I got to do that, and then I want to get up and I want to start writing it so I don't lose it. The other thing that's important about sleep is its impact on your memory. And we tend not to think about it that way. But when I've learned things, I've got coaching in the past from some of the science studies. When you're teaching somebody something, give them a recap somewhere in the 4 to 6 o'clock time period. And then just let them glance at that somewhere before 7, or certainly before they go to bed, and let them glance at it. And let their brain do the encoding. Let their brain then process and retain and put that into the integration of, the dendritic spines that are then storing in the hippocampus that we need for recall later on. And it sometimes amazes me, maybe it's not the next morning I get up and say, gee, I want to remember all this. Maybe it's a week later, maybe it's 2 weeks later. But somewhere I pull things out and it's like, wow, where did that come from? On Monday, I talked about sleep, another point on sleeping. On Monday, I talked about exercise. And in this research, they're saying is exercise is the only proven way to increase the amount of time that you spend in deep sleep. And without getting too crazy, we have all these different stages of sleep. And the deep sleep you want to have is about 3 hours of maybe 4, if you can be lucky. You get this 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and that's where you just clean out your toxins. You're storing all your memories that you want to retain. You're pruning out those that you want to hopefully just forget. And so getting this into your brain and realizing that if I could get 3 or 4 hours of this deep sleep, it's wonderful. Well, this is linking the exercise that I talked to you about on Monday with exercise and its impact on sleep. And then the last point that I want to make is they stress the importance of getting out during the day. Even if you're not exercising, daylight helps to cure your brain and maintain a normal circadian rhythm. And I know for me, one of the most important things that I work to do, especially if I'm doing an all day at home work session, I will get out and walk for half an hour. I'll get out and run. I'll get out and do the bike ride. I will get myself out of the house and look to get exposed to the air, the air of the flowers, the air of the fresh, after a rainstorm. I want to smell if I'm on the beach, my God, do I love the salt water smell. But the point is you're getting out. You're getting out of the domain of your residence and you're just getting out and out. Getting out might mean if you're still becoming sensitive and you're still a little bit weary of COVID, getting out, opening a window up and just smelling the fresh air and just kind of almost putting your head out the window and just looking if somebody's walking by or what's happening out there in the outside domain, but just feel that you're part of it. So these are my sleeping tips that I pull from this health bulletin that came into the Sunday paper, and I just could keep going and going, and we keep putting these out and putting these out. We want to make a difference in people's lives, and doing Facebook and YouTubes are a couple of ways that we're trying to get the messaging out to more and more people, because I am of the firm belief and the opinion that the more people begin to learn about these things and the more they again believe in these things, the better their overall physical health is, and most importantly, their brain and their mental health. And boy, who wants to live with a better body and not have a brain that goes with it? We'll see you on Friday. It's another week just kind of zipping by. Tomorrow is Thursday. Today is April the 20th. My goodness, my granddaughter, Rachel, is on her way back to Switzerland today. She was here for about 3 weeks to have some teeth extracted. Off she goes back to Switzerland to finish up her master's degree. So all is well here in Windermere, Florida. We've had a 79-degree weather day today, and hope yours was as well. A pleasant one and a safe one, and we'll see you on Friday.